Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Welcome, welcome. This is G. You're in the star room. Can you hear me? It is Saturday night, October 11th, 2025. And yeah, welcome to the Starry Night Live, where we do astrology readings. If you haven't been here before, you got to get your digits to me. I know we got some people lined up already for the night. We start at 9 p.m. Central Time, and we are over by 11 p.m. So we do this every Saturday. Yep. Astrology geeks are us. That's right. Every Saturday, except for the very last Saturday of each month. We do it, but it's private. Private. So if you want to do a private live with me, you contact me. The email is down below right under this live stream. The details are down there. Send me an email. Let me know, G, I want to get in on the private live. That's the only way you can get in. You have to communicate with me. It is limited availability, limited seating. It's a very small group, but it is the last Saturday of every month. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And with that said, I know we have some work cut out for us tonight. I've got to get started. I'm burning my stuff because there's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world and everywhere and around here. And so we want to make this just about right here, right now, in the moment, and do what we got to do. So for birth charts, we need your birth time, birth state, birth city. Yeah, we need all of that. Time, place, date, all those details. Let me find this chat here and let me see who's all here. For people who have sent money, I spend more time on those charts. You gift the channel, I gift it back with time. That's the way it goes. For everybody else, your name comes up in the queue. First come, first serve. We're doing speed readings. That's the way it's got to be. All right. So let's not wait any longer. And let me put a safe space for this little burning stick I got going here. It's actually still burning away, which is nice. I don't mind that. I don't have any of the cats in the room right now. They all bolted. Well, you know what? They got their nails cut literally a little bit ago. So Taffy's hiding. She's all big and bad and bold when she has her long claws. She's real confident. You ever notice the difference once the cats get their nails clipped, how different they act after that? Taffy acts really different. It's all of a sudden her confidence is gone. She was tearing shit up. All right. Where the heck is the chat? Oh, I should see if you guys can hear me. Damn, I said all of that. And let me see if everybody... Oh, we got some folks here. It says, okay, can you guys hear me? Let me see if I can find out if anybody can hear me on this phone here. See if that works. Oh, we got a list too. Excellent. Damn. Oh, thank you. Yes, can hear you. Thank you. Okay. All right, Stacy, I think you're number one. We don't have time to waste. So Wait, let me like the live. Like the live. Don't waste time. Like the live. That's what we do first off. And I also, before I go any further, um, I am thinking of implementing a little, just a little fun into the live stream. It's just an idea. We'll see where it goes. Um, you know how you can do like that Wheel of Fortune type thing or like a number picker type thing? You can have it on the screen. You can, everybody gets a number and your number would be the number that you come in, right? Like Stacy's number one, Angela's number two, Abatha is number three. So those are your numbers, right? In the order in which you show up in the queue. And that's the number that you have. Cats is here. What's going on, Cats? You'd be number 5. Cats, Love Bug, you'd be number 6. Anyway, so that would be your number. And that would be your number for my thingamajigger, right? And at the end of the live stream, like before I leave, we'll spin the wheel. And maybe it won't be a wheel. I was actually thinking something that wasn't a wheel, but that was the quickest thing I could think of that popped in my head was like a spinning Wheel of Fortune type of wheel. Anyway, whoever's number it stops on, right? Yeah, there'll be a prize. So the main thing with that too, though, is there would have to be a minimum number of people in the chat in order for us to do that, to activate the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel of, the part of fortune wheel. How about that? Lovebug says, I can't hear. Well, that's a weird thing. If somebody can hear over there, but then another person says, I can't hear, then what does that mean, guys? Steffi G's here. Steffi, can you hear me? Lou S is here. Lou, can you hear me? Thank you so much for putting that in there. Abatha, can you hear me? So here's what we're going to do. The numbers that I called off, that's what you got to put in the chat. You just put in you don't even got to put your name in, right? Your name shows up. Just put in number 6, roll call. That's what we're doing. All right. This will help Stacy, give her a break because she can't be here all the time. And I don't expect her to be here all the time. And it's, she just does it out of the kindness of her heart. So yeah, we should be able to be self-organized. So, if you don't have your number, you won't be called for a reading. So if you want to be like a rebel and be like, well, I don't feel like putting my name in there and putting a number on it, well, you ain't going to get a reading. It's that simple. All right, let's move on. We're all big girls and boys here. Well, I think only girls tonight. Passing, going to the asylum. Okay. Well, it's nice to see you here. Hopefully everything is going well. Yep, got to have a number. You don't have a number, you won't be going. That's just the way it is. So, let's scroll back to Stacy's number 1, the first one up. Let's get this going. Let me get that thing off the screen though. Hold on. I always do that, right? And then I can't. There it is. Okay. Thank you. And then she had a list. There it is. There's that current list. Okay, let me put a star on that. But yeah, we got the numbers, and that is great. Oh, maybe there is a cat in here. You just never know. You close the door, you turn off the lights. Cat could be creeping. I thought I heard somebody kind of like a little kitty cat sneeze. Okay, so let's get the chart up here. The first one up is Stacy. I got your chart, and Stacy wants to know if she should move. Oh, man, I got something in my eye now. Come on now. Oh, here we go. Let's get this thing where it works better. We did it last week. Okay, I think that's it. I think. Where you can see the chart big. Woohoo! All right, so by the way everybody threw their numbers in there, that means that you all can hear me. Very good. Yep, number 1 is up. Very good. Awesome. All right. So she gave her month's notice. Yay. All right, let me flip over to the chart so I can stare at that. Yeah, Lou, that's exactly what I was like, really? What? Yeah, right? I think I even asked that question in the private chat. What is this recording? Oh, Lord, what does this mean? What the hell? No data. All right, I don't know what that means. How do I get this off? Okay. I don't know. They're always changing something. Okay. So, Stacy, I think you said something about November, December. Like that would be really quick, right? I mean, here we are, October. Let me go back and read the email real quick. Let me go check that out. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, so Stacy, I guess by the question that I'm reading here, are you saying you were on a short-term lease and your lease is already up in a month or two? Is that what you're saying? Anyway, let me just get to this chart. We're okay. I went to read the emails and now I'm like, where the hell is it? There it is. Okay, you guys are on the screen. All right, so let's see what we're taking a look at here. Oh, you got the nodes. Okay. All right. So, yeah, wow, the north and the south node sextiling your ascendant. Yeah. Okay. So we got that there. Okay. Ascendant and descent sextiles. Oh, well, yeah, you got that midheaven too going on, right? The north and the south node. So, it's a possibility just by the fact that this is, from what I read, this is something you kind of want to do, right? So, a goal, right? Midheaven goal. And home is the fourth house cusp line, right? There's the node 17, and your house cusp line is at 15. So the thing is, if you look across your chart near that midheaven, wow, you've got the shock and the surprise energy, and you've got the Pluto stuff. You've got all that at 15. This would be big. This event would be a big thing. And something about it would be a shock and a surprise, but it does say a deep change, and because it's the Virgo stuff, if nothing else, it's at least a change within your daily routines, and possibly the health, and health being part of the daily routines. Um, you know, even thinking communication style, right? Yeah, 15 degrees. That's that Mercury degree. Neighborhood too. Neighbors, coworkers, that could be part of it. So let's see what else we can see and pull up a little bit of a timeline here for you. Let me go a little bit further. I think that's what that email said, November/December. So you're going to have, yeah, you'll have Mars. If we back it up a little bit, like right now, Mars is in that Scorpio, still in your eighth. I'm sorry, your eighth. Still in your 12th Scorpio, eighth. I'm sorry. All right. So Mars is at 13. But then Mars in a week, Mars will be in your first house. And interestingly enough, that Mars will be touching in with your Neptune energy, and then eventually with your South Node energy. And that does kind of represent a release, but it's a release of shared value. So if you're actually looking, let's see, I swear I feel like we've just went through this with you. Like, we just got you here, damn it. There is a Mercury retrograde. And the retrograde is covering these areas in your chart. It includes your ascendant. You follow? So that retrograde, your ascendant is your location. It's your physical body and where you're located. Okay. So that retrograde, the Mercury retrograde, I believe it's like that 20 degrees. So it'll be conjunct your 18-degree ascendant. Interesting too, because you have the Neptune at 19. So what that means is the information that's coming through communication, possibly conversations that are had, things are going to be probably confusing. Things might disappear. Mercury retrogrades automatically create a delay, but it goes over your south node too. It goes from like 20 degrees of Scorpio all the way to like, what is it? 6 degrees of Sagittarius, I think is that. So with that said, let me take a kind of a little peek and double check some stuff. Yeah, you've got some 2 degrees. Your third house cusp line is your neighborhood. Gemini energy. It's group energy too. Huh. Makes me kind of wonder, is where you're considering moving into more of like a group type thing as opposed to just living in a neighborhood, is like where my mom is, she's like in a senior home type of a place. Would it be more geared towards something like that? Because that Aquarius energy would lend to that, would definitely be like, yes. So let's see what else we're going to check out here. The node is then going to be still at 17 and then passing over your fourth house cusp line. And the same with your, yeah, it's going to be triggered. Let's see. South node, north node. What happens over at let me kind of look here. You got, yeah, with these nodes, it's a big deal actually in your chart because of the, you've got your second house cusp line of money and income and Sagittarius, right? Travel and plans for the future. And then the 18 degrees on Gemini. So I could totally understand why you're thinking, shit, am I going to be moving? It makes a lot of sense. And you have Mars sitting right there on your eighth house cusp line. You've got a Mars at 16. So the nodes are going to be activating all that. And this is, yeah, I'm looking at the beginning of November. There's a lot of stuff connecting already here. Holy crap. And this is like what, November 8th I have on the chart, and we have Mercury beginning its retrograde. Yeah, this is where it begins its retrograde. So maybe this retrograde, yeah. I mean, this seems awfully quick. I don't like, are you prepared to be moving this fast? Maybe it's just the conversations because it is Mercury communications, although Mercury can be short distance travel, right? Locally, especially if we're moving back and forth. I've seen people with retrogrades during moves, and a lot of it involved because they were, going back and forth from one place to the other, traveling. But if it's a big move, like out of Alaska, right? Which would mean airplane, that would be a bigger deal, which I'm assuming you'd just be like, we ain't taking shit with me. We're just getting in the plane and going. Let me see what else we can see here again for you. You've got your Jupiter, okay. And we got Jupiter, I think, is going to be 25. Okay, Jupiter's at, okay. So your Mercury is at 24. Very interesting. She has a 24 degrees Mercury in Cancer, folks. And that's where Jupiter starts to really slow down at that 24 degrees, which it's going to be hitting there soon. So you're deciding, right? Choices, options, you're learning. Big time research, super detective of the Zodiac because it's in your eighth house. And Jupiter traveling, making travel plans for the future. So I don't know if you're going back and forth already, checking property out in other locations or something. Hold on a minute. I got to have this foot extended, and there we go. Okay. I'm like, there's something in my way. Oh, so yeah, there is definitely something on the horizon here. And your fourth house cusp line is definitely being triggered. So I just don't know for you if, like, the thing is there's a Mercury retrograde while you're going to be doing this, if this is your plan, right? A Saturn retrograding, a Jupiter retrograding. There's a lot. Uranus is retrograding. So I'm not sure what's your timeline. Let me look at my phone. Are you thinking more closer to December? Like, does your contract expire in December? Or, because according to the email, it looked like you actually sent me a few of them. Hold on. End of November. Okay. End of November. All right. Well, then we'll shoot for that, because that's looking like that must be when the contract expires or when the lease is up. Because there's a lot going on here. And again, it's your Saturn energy in your fourth house. And remember, the retrograding Saturn, but Neptune, right? Neptune is now on top of your Saturn. This is in your fourth house of home, where you live, right? The property and stuff. Wow. There's a lot being activated. I would kind of be surprised if you didn't, because there's so much being triggered. And at the same time, I mean, yeah, there just might be some weird hiccups along the way, because anytime we're talking about retrograding stuff, contracts, signing a new lease, stuff like that. Yeah, Jupiter retrograding, Saturn Neptune, everything retrograding. So at this time, this means you're going to want to just like have other people other than yourself going over things with you, because there's a lot being activated here, and making a move and travel and Jupiter with that retrograde. And if you're going to be in an airplane, because if you're saying Washington, that means you got to be in an airplane. That means your goal is to get the heck out of where you are. And you're basically saying there really is no other option, because there is no housing where you're located. So the good news is that Jupiter is your greater benefic. And it's good news if you're like, hell yeah, I'm ready to move, right? Then it's good news. And it's good news if you actually know that you can do this. Because it looks like Jupiter would have to be activated, and a retrograding Jupiter. Yeah. To me, I think when Jupiter begins a retrograde, I think it's a time where we can feel more of the beautiful, generous, beneficial energy of Jupiter. And yeah, you've got it going through in the 8th house of shared values, of insurance money. The thing is that the Mercury retrograding, right, over here in your first house, now going into your, going to go backwards into your 12th. Here we are on the 22nd of November, Mercury at 24, lining up with your Mercury and Jupiter. So this almost looks to me like things are in the works, like, already. And it could be very sudden and very fast, because things are lining up and clicking very quickly here. Because even the retrograding Saturn is part of the story. It's at 25. It's Saturn, it's Jupiter, it's the Mercury in the sky, it's your Mercury. So options, choices. And Mercury is busy, 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 busy energy. So whether you're having to utilize the support of 8 different agencies, whether it's, I hate to use the word government, but I know your situation. And so 12th house would be that too. And so would this Neptune energy, right? So would Neptune. And anytime we get a Saturn activation, which you're getting because it's your personal private Saturn and the Saturn up in the sky, that more or less represents our long-term goal. right? So for you, maybe where you're at, you kind of knew this wasn't my forever home, or you know what I mean, a long-term thing. Because when Saturn does something, it wants what is going to be for the long term. So that's also something, like I said, that kind of gives me some hesitation and pause, is that the Neptune going over your Saturn. Saturn is our material and our tangible, our long-term financial security. And with the Neptune there, Neptune can bring in that beneficial help, the assistance, whether it's, whatever agencies can step forward and are part of this process for you. It can be that. But Neptune is that ethereal realm. And so it can dissolve whatever is material and tangible, right? It can like dissolve it. So this is a lot happening here. This is a lot. It looks big, and your home is definitely part of this picture for sure. The fourth house, it's all sitting right there in it. And I'm hoping and praying for you that it comes to fruition, like that this happens, because Jupiter again is your greater benefic, and you have Jupiter in the eighth house. You follow? So that Jupiter at that 25 connecting with your south node at 24 degrees. Yes, it is connecting. So, man, this is another kind of exciting thing. It looks like this can be a reality for you. I'm just taking a look at your Venus. Okay, yeah, Mercury opposes those as well. Okay. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I would say there's so much happening. There's so much being triggered, and I can't stand using that word, but I don't know what else to use. They're all the pieces of the puzzle. A lot of pieces of the puzzles are falling into place. How about that one? Okay. And you also have you know, you had Pluto going over your third house cusp line too, and that is our local community, our neighborhood. So Pluto wasn't done with you. It wasn't done changing and transforming, neighbors and siblings and coworkers and the people that are around you and peers. It's still changing and transforming it. It's all part of the big story. We're all going through it. It's just, where the hell is it happening in our chart? Does that make sense for you? You should start the paperwork immediately. Absolutely. If you haven't done it, I would, because yeah, don't wait for something to come at you, is what I'm saying. I would be proactive and start. I would start because of what I see here that's coming down the pike. Yeah, you want to go ahead. Um yeah, I would. This says Mercury writing paperwork. You don't want to wait on this. You want to go ahead, and because I would imagine getting a jump on it, it would be to your advantage, as opposed to sitting around and waiting for the end of November, where this dissolving of where I live starts to occur. You don't want that. You want to, because I mean, like I said, we're already in October. Yeah, I would definitely go ahead and start your paperwork. Just get it done. And things change, right? The timeline might not be exactly, because there's so many retrogrades, but just start. Well, if you want to wait a year, that's up to you. I can only tell you what I'm reading in the chart, and there's so much being triggered in the chart. So much being triggered. So you wanted to wait a year. So by waiting a year, the Saturn retrograde, Saturn's done with your Saturn, you know. Um, I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, if you go ahead and start, are you going to be caught in a position where it's like, okay, you've started this paperwork and now you're screwed because you've been accepted? Like, once you've been accepted, like, it's okay, I have to move forward type of thing. Because from what I read, you're kind of hoping to be accepted into something. That's the paperwork I would start. That one. right? The one where you're waiting on, am I accepted into this program, whatever that is. That's what I'm talking about. Get that going. Absolutely. So maybe that's what this is for you, where you're just starting paperwork and it takes that long. Maybe it takes a year for it all to actually come to fruition and for the movement, the momentum. Okay. So definitely just get the ball rolling. Absolutely. Because with Neptune and Saturn rolling over your stuff, this is an energy that you want to just sit on. And plus, a year from then, literally, I'm looking a year from now, you don't have Jupiter with you. Jupiter's not in your eighth house. You know what I'm saying? Like having the benefit of Jupiter as you, this is my thinking. Okay. I know Jupiter is my greater benefic. Jupiter's in a retrograde and it's the most exalted. Hello, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm not sure how that happened. I didn't touch my microphone. This goddamn StreamYard. um, I would use the power of Jupiter while I have it. A year from now, Jupiter will be in Leo, and it'll already be at 26 degrees of Leo. You follow? Yes, it'll be in your ninth house of traveling, okay? But if you, I would just want to use the power of the greater benefic energy. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Okay? That's my thinking on it. Okay? You can hear me? Okay. And then it said you couldn't. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'm just trying to find out, is this thing right? So you can hear me now, and I did go out earlier. It didn't. You couldn't hear me earlier. It's wacky. Hey, was that Donna? What's going on, Donna? Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Lou. Okay, so Stacy, does that help? Does that help? Does that all make sense? Um, I would absolutely use the power of Jupiter while I had it. And to me, a Jupiter retrograde, yeah, is a good time. But it would be fast. Yeah. All right, we're going to keep moving because we've got names here, we've got numbers. Your number is how you show up in the queue. Number 2, where is number 2? Number 2, are you there? Hold on a minute. I don't know, man. I'm having some weird tech issues. Is anybody else having weird tech issues? I know Jupiter's at 23. And that is astrology. That would be a tech thing as well. I can relate to the little stressed. I see that and I heard that. Whew. It's kind of freaky here. I mean, we're literally having conversations of having to carry around our birth certificates. Isn't that insane? Like to have a conversation about that? It's freaking nuts. Freaking nuts. Okay. Again, let me burn some more of that stuff so I can keep that energy out of the room. Yeah. This is my heavy duty stuff I'm burning here. Yep. Okay, so number 2. Where's number 2? Did you get your number in? I'm going to find it. I know Stacy has a list for me already. Oh, there it is. So, Angela, I should have known that. I already said that earlier. Angela, are you here? Number 2, are you here? Going once, going twice. Come on. We got to get it going. We got to be on. Angela's here, number 2. Woohoo! Very good. Angela, what am I checking out for you? Did you send me? Let me see. Angela. I'm sorry, Stacy. Angela. Okay. Kat, I see you. I see your email. I see your gift to the channel. Yep. Excellent. That's how we spend more time on your chart. For the other charts, for the other readings, yeah, we do like what I call a speed reading. But for people who gift the channel, I gift them back with time on their chart. Okay. Let me find out what we're doing. What are we checking out? Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter, right? Oh, she's like, show us Jupiter. And Jupiter hasn't even begun the retrograde yet, right? That's where I'm like, yes, let it happen. Let the good come through. Let the judges do the right damn thing. All right, let me let me go find Angela's chart here real quick. All right, Angela is yelling Jupiter at the top of her lungs. Okay, got it. We're here every Saturday. The last Saturday of every month, we do this very same thing, but we do it privately. If you want in on a private lives, go to the email right under this live stream and say, gee, I want to get in on the private lives. What does that entail? What do we got to do? It is limited space. It is very small. It's the last Saturday of every month. Okay. And Angela's chart is up here. Look at that. Shazam. Okay, let me get that comment down and let me get my big head out of the way. All right. So let's take a peek here. Angela, what's going on? She said Jupiter. She screamed Jupiter, right? Yeah. So, okay, let's take a peek here. 7th house, Jupiter at 23. Yep, there's her Jupiter. Partnerships. This can be lawyers and the law. Well, it's the 7th house, plus she's got Jupiter rolling through her 7th house. Nice. Exalted Jupiter in her 7th house. I hope you're here to say Jupiter saved the day for you. Because look at, she's got Jupiter trining Jupiter, folks. Her natal Jupiter is at 26 degrees. Ooh, this is going to be nice. It should already be, but it's going to be even more nice when it begins its retrograde at 25 degrees. When Jupiter slows down at 25 without even beginning the retrograde yet, right? Because it sits at 25, I think, for over a week or something. Yeah, it's for like over a week. And it's just standing there, like not even moving, right? Even at 24, right? Once we get out of this crazy 23 degrees, once we get to 24, it's really starting to crawl. So it starts to really connect strongly with your natal Jupiter, beneficial, benevolent, generous, protective Jupiter for those of you who have Jupiter as your greater benefic in your chart. And not everybody does. We either have Jupiter or Venus as our great benefic in our chart. So she has Jupiter. Yes. And it's in Scorpio, shared values. Yep. Shared values. So you have Jupiter trining Jupiter, and that's in your 10th house of your long-term. Actually, no. 26 degrees would be your 11th house of authority figures. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's going to be nice. Let me see. And right now, too, is kind of interesting, right? Saturn at 26. You have Saturn trining your Jupiter. Ooh, I like this for you because this Saturn, again, it's going to get to 25 for everybody. But already it's the retrograding, and the Saturn is the long-term material, tangible goals, material, tangible financial security. It's, it can be your home. It can be the money in the bank. It's the things that you are working for, right? The things that we work for in general to keep us financially stable in our life, which equals, emotional stability to some degree. No, money isn't everything, but when you got a roof over your head and you got food on the table and you're not living paycheck to paycheck, holy shit. Somehow health suddenly improves, right? Somehow our mood is better. Somehow we're able to function a little bit easier. It absolutely is connected. So this is nice. You have this going on. Saturn lays down the rules. Saturn also is reorganizing here and restructuring. And this would be communications, siblings, neighbors, coworkers. Saturn at 26 is the money. It's Venus. It's the moolah. And this would be shared values, shared money. So, I try not to pry into people's business. But I know there was a court thing going on, right? And that's your business. But if it involved other people's moolah, other people's money, then this is to your benefit for sure. Absolutely. And I know you've had a very rough road. And not just you. You have little ones. Single mom. Very rough road. Like no roof over the head type of rough road. Living out of a vehicle, rough road, right? This is some shit that people who are supposedly in the most civilized country, the most advanced country, the most richest, wealthiest country in the world should not be living like this, But Angela's not the only one. I could name quite a few people who I know living in their vehicles. Quite a few. And we've had many people come on here, people with children living in their vehicles. In America, this new great country. All right. My Jupiter 23 is getting a little wacky. All righty. So, Angela, I'm liking this for you. And I hope this has been wonderful for you. I hope it's turned out. Jupiter's doing wonderful things in my life. I'm excited about what's coming up. Yeah, well, because Saturn will be involved. Yes, this should help establish more long-term, maybe even work, right? If you're not working right now, definitely. It's Saturn. It can be that. It can be work. And even if it's not work, it can add to the stability and the structure, right? The material, financial security. And having Saturn going through our third house makes this quite serious. Serious communications, for sure. Very serious communications. And we handle the duty and the responsibilities that Saturn lays upon us. So if it's been stressful by Saturn being in a retrograde, which it can be for some folks, right? Absolutely. A lot of people losing their jobs right now, especially within the government. They're laying off even or getting rid of, eliminating positions, whatever. Just a whole lot of things being dismantled, I think is the good word, which means people out of work. So with that said, Uranus is in your fifth house, so that's not going anywhere. That's going to be there for a while. But yeah, you'll have Jupiter with you for a long time in your seventh house because you even have some Leo in your seventh house. So you get to have Jupiter for quite a bit of time. In terms of the Jupiter trining Jupiter, that Jupiter in your natal chart is in your 11th house. So when we think of 11th house, this is something that's different, that's unique, can be technology, 11th house is AI. But that 11th house energy, really group energy is big, group energy. So something maybe even with social systems, social services, that can be there too. Because it's Jupiter trining Jupiter for you. But it's going to be, all of this isn't going to be bam because Jupiter gets to 25 and then it retrogrades backwards and then it goes forward again, right? So you're going to be kind of waiting for the Jupiter to come back around. But the beauty is you get it. You get a Jupiter drive-by like 3 times. And drive-by is probably not the best, example, but you'll have it 3 times. So the beauty in that is be grateful, you know, and utilize the resources and the opportunities while Jupiter is shining on you, while it's providing the protection and while it's giving you options. And options, it's so hard to do the astrology now. It's really difficult because of, for anybody in the States that's with the government changing, and for, yeah, this is just really difficult. You know, it's hard to even say because you don't know what that's going to look like tomorrow. You don't know what it's going to look like in a month, or you don't know what it's going to look like in 6 months. Shit's changing, plain and simple. Hopefully there will be the assistance that you're looking for that continues. And you'll have the North Node going through your second house. Money, finances. It'll be in Pisces for a bit of time still, okay? So North Node, second house, South Node going through your 8th house. Again, this is my values, our values, shared money, shared values, insurance money, shared interests, like that's that 8th house energy and insurance money. So between the nodes and Jupiter and the Neptune and the Saturn down in your 3rd house, I would say that even if you just be flexible, just be flexible. And this is for all of us. Totally. Nice. Okay, I see your comment. That's great. That's great. So the climb is just beginning, but this time it's on my terms. I know this in my bones. I have a community impact project. Nice. That 11th house. Very good. Do your thing, girl, and come back and give us an update and let us know for sure. Definitely do your thing. 11th house. I love that. And what does she have in her 2nd house of money? Aquarius. More social services, community impact, group energy, organizing, absolutely. Especially if it has to do with single moms with kids, struggling. If the list is never ending. All right, let's move on. Congratulations. I hope it's all going well for you, Angela. And yeah, we want updates on how Jupiter has blessed you further and further. All right, number 3 is up. Number 3, where's number 3? That would be Abatha. Abatha, are you here? Number 3, are you here? Number 3, this is roll call. Look at that. Abatha said, I'm here. All right, Abatha, what am I checking out? All right, we're holding you to it. You're here. We're holding you to it. I got you on the screen. I got you on the screen. Not sure how to get a number. Yeah, the way to get that number, if you look at all the names in the chat, go all the way up. The first person who arrived at the live stream was number 1. The second person who arrived in the chat at the live stream was number 2. You follow? Obviously, we ignore the repetition names, but every time you get a new name, they get a new fresh number, and it just goes in order. You follow? So Stacy was number 1, Angela was number 2, Abatha's number 3, and so on. Okay, Abatha, what am I checking out? After Abatha, it will be Cats is number 4, Lovebug is number 5. And we just keep rolling like that. And there's that list. That's how they got those numbers. Okay. Okay, so Abatha. Oh, I'm in the A's. That's great. I can stay right here. I got a lot of A's, a lot of L's, a lot of M's. Here we go. Okay, why did it do that? Thank you. I don't know why it has me so big. I was hoping for the small version, but that's okay. There's Abatha on the screen. What are we looking at? What's going on right now? So Abatha, what's changed from last week to this week? Well, Mars moved from your 9th house of beliefs about your future to your 10th house about your goals. Mars went over your midheaven. You see this? Mars at your midheaven. Your midheaven is your goals. 10th house is your work, your goals, right? It's authority figures as well. And we kind of take action with what our plans are. Taking authority of our own life even, right? Like I am the boss of me kind of energy, especially with Mars there. Like no one's going to tell me what to do kind of shit. Mars at 13 is very feisty. You can probably see it in me today, right? Absolutely. A very feisty Mars who's ready to fight, damn it. Yep. So Mercury, in the next 7 days, Mercury will also go over your midheaven. All right. So when Mercury gets closer to that midheaven, we start thinking and communicating even, right? Mercury can be writing and vlogging, but communication is big, talking. And you have 11 degrees up there at your midheaven. So it's very different, very unique energy, right? It's group energy, it's friend energy even. But it is kind of what I just talked about. With Angela's chart, it's social services, right? Group energy. Something really interesting about that 11th house, of course, is it's astrology and science, right? But surprises, shocks and surprises. And we've already talked about all the shocks and surprises you've had in the past and the things that happen. So Mercury going there can be a surprising communication from an authority figure communicating in a shocking way, possibly even. If you have an authority figure in your life, whether it's a boss or whether it's at a job, like, maybe in the home even, like mom and dad, or because some people are like, I'm the boss of my own life. No one's the boss of me. Fine. But in the real world, we all have an authority figure. I get out on the street, a cop can pull me over. He's an authority over me, right? Absolutely. He could say, hey, I'm writing you a ticket. You were speeding. Use the authority to pull me over. And I'm not going to go any further with that. So with Mercury up there, let me see. Let me see what you're going to have down there. Oh, okay. That was important. I'm so glad I'm listening. So 11, you got Saturn at 11 degrees. Saturn, more boss energy. Wow. Connected with my values, friends, group energy. Can be dad energy too, for sure, because it's Saturn at 11 degrees, the authority figure. But Saturn can be the one who says, hey, these are the rules. It can be that. So Mercury's going to touch upon that. And let me see if you got some difficulties. Well, yeah, this is a time for you where you're already kind of experiencing it, because I see here you've got a Mars squaring Mars right now. This can give you a lot of feisty ass energy because it's Mars squaring Mars, which kind of gives your natal Mars more energy. And because you have a Mars conjunct Uranus, this is sudden, fast movements. And those sudden, fast movements, yeah, these are when things occur, things where we might get injured. Anytime we mix Uranus and Mars energy, it's very accident-prone energy. All right, so with that said, hopefully all is good right now. Hopefully you didn't have anything crazy happening. Mars squaring Mars, also with your Uranus there. Hopefully hopefully you're fine. I know you were still recovering from an accident, right? But Mercury coming through can trigger like combative words, right? Can be a little feistiness and anger. There can be, because Mercury and Mars will be conjunct. Mercury's going to catch up to that Mars energy. So yeah, this can be kind of a tricky time for you. It's one of these things where we have to recognize where we're kind of feisty and everybody else is too. So we have to give people distance and space. That is probably one of the best recommendations I can give. Literally is, I feel I'm a little spicy. Okay, go out and do whatever you need to go do. Go do something alone. Go spend some time doing something you enjoy. And even though you've got that 11-degree thing, like at that midheaven, you might need to spend time alone, right? And it might simply also be, well, I see somebody else better need to spend some time alone. And how do we do that? Well, then we take ourselves out of the equation, and that way they're alone, but then I'm also alone. And it doesn't mean forever. It means we're just providing space. Using space as a buffer is a good thing, because Mars energy needs a mission, needs a battle, and it's just going to be fired up in general. Sometimes Mars is an instigator. So this is pretty much what's going to be going on for you. Okay. At least for this, let me see if I can do this a couple of days really quick here for you and give you a little bit more. Yeah. Sunday, tomorrow, like it starts to be triggered. Mercury's already at 9 starting tomorrow. You follow? So because your Mars is at 14, still connecting to your midheaven, and you got the Saturn down below, it's this big gigantic T-square you have in your chart. You always have it here. So there might be some restrictions. There might be some, wherever you live or wherever you're at, whoever you're around, just know it will pass. Mercury is fast. Okay. It will pass. And I don't mean like in a couple of days, but you just this week, okay? Just this week, just know that you kind of got to, give people their space and do things that are beneficial for yourself, and good God, I know I need that for sure. It's just been kind of crazy, and it just makes sense to just kind of unplug and detach and find your happy place and stay safe. Okay. So we're moving on. Number four. Who's number 4? I hope that helps you, Abatha. Number 4 is Cats, I believe. Cats, are you here? Oh, Cats, I know you're here. You sent me some money. So we're going to get your chart up here. What are we looking at, Cats? Number 4. What's going on? What am I checking out? I don't think you... Let me double check my email and see if you asked me a question or if you asked me what to look at. Did you have a specific? Okay, what the hell? Oh, you know what? I'm trying to read the chat on my phone, right? Which means, yeah, I have to have the live stream on to see that. And yeah, somehow it was, some other channel was on my phone. Like I'm watching some other, anyway. All right. Cat, okay. Cat. Oh, well, thank you for your very, very kind email here, Cat. Right back at you, for real. I can't do this without people like you being so kind, for sure. Oh. Okay. Family and friend. Okay. What system to follow about the journal? Okay. When you're doing I can answer that one real quick here. When you're doing your journal, if you're just following the moon cycle, you just want to use an ephemeris. That's it. You don't need anything else. Don't do anything. Just, I have a video on the channel. It's a really old one, but I show you how to navigate astro.com, their website. Now, there are other websites, don't get me wrong. And the other thing about the ephemeris is you have to know what time zones the ephemeris is in, and you have to adjust for the time zone you're in because you're following a moon cycle, right? So yeah, you just need an ephemeris. You don't need to have Yeah. Yep. The only reason you would follow a system like Vedic or Tropical Placidus is if you're looking at an entire chart. Do you follow? The only chart you're looking at is your own birth chart. And did I give you the birth chart that I use here? Did I send you your birth chart? If I didn't, I can send it to you. Let me know. Give me an email. Let me know you need your birth chart. And then all you're doing is looking at an ephemeris, which is literally just listing where the planets are by degree and what sign they're in. And then you go to your chart and you look and you're like, oh shit, the moon is in this particular place. And look, it's on top of something in my chart. You follow? That's all you got to do. Keep it as simple as possible. Lou does this. So Lou might have some tips. But the journal is a great thing. And yes, start off with just the moon. It's all you need to do. Yep. Yeah, don't follow anything but the moon because there's so much to follow, especially if you're not like an astrology geek. Just follow the moon cycle. And over time, might be years, whatever, who cares, right? Just keep doing what you're doing. And if you know it's about your moods, and remember, the moon is not just moods, it's family, it's feminine energy, it's women, it's my childhood, it's the past in general. But yeah, my emotional security, my emotional stability. Maybe here, okay. All right, so let's get Kat's chart in here now that I understand the question. And did I add it to the damn stage? Oh, I didn't pull it up yet. My bad. I got Abatha on the screen still. Let's get Kat in here. Yeah, no worries, Kat. It's hard, I know. When you're going through something, and if I remember correctly, you have actually kind of a lot that was being triggered there. Pluto on your node, Pluto on your south node. Yeah. I would say that's a big deal, having Pluto on your south node. So here's the thing that should change up a little bit for you. And hopefully this gives you some something to look forward to in the short term. And this is, again, is for everybody. But in particular, let me get the chart to move over again. There we go. Pluto's retrograde is going to end. Okay, so here we are, October 13th. Pluto's at 122, sitting right there in her 12th house of confusion. So Pluto's pulling up a whole lot of deep shit from the past, stuff that was hidden, psychological stuff, right? It's deeply subconscious stuff. It can be stuff from our dreams. It can be stuff from another reality, from another lifetime, from soul memory. So it can be really complicated. I mean, it's like, so what do I do with this crap, right? But it's pulling up a lot of stuff. It's pulling up group energy, friends, possibly, social circles even, possibly. It's definitely technology, right? Because it's that Aquarius stuff. And you got the superpower, right? You've got your south node there along with Hermes information. So there's some high level of intuition that's going on too. And so there's a lot for you to navigate because we're bringing up stuff from another timeline, another lifeline, however you want to look at it, where it's like it can add confusion to your conscious, awake, living moments, literally, right? 12th house is very visual energy. It's also extremely sensitive. And having your south node, it could possibly be making you a little, I want to say, Aquarius energy is about awareness. It's, when you hear people screaming at other people and calling them the name woke like it's an insult, when it's actually probably one of the greatest things somebody could ever say about somebody. I mean, in my mind anyway, it's awareness. It's self-awareness. Okay. And having it at 1 degree is all about you. It's all about yourself, for sure. So you possibly might be stressing, and even having a little anxiety, possibly even because of the nerves with Uranus energy, Aquarius energy. You might be experiencing some of that, especially because of this 12th house oversensitive energy, very sensitive energy. It's the sponge of the zodiac, right? So, not to mention the high levels of intuition. And Pluto is exalted in Pisces energy. So Pluto is exalted in the 12th house. So it's strong stuff going on, and the ability to show what's hidden. This possibly can be showing you what's been hidden with friends and with that group energy, and also with people that are older than you, people that you might have looked up to, people who might be considered authority figures. So whether they're bosses, whether it's family members, whether it's parents, whether it's people of the cloth in your life, it just depends on who's an authority figure in your life, right? Because it's Aquarius energy. And Pluto shows us stuff. And here's the thing, I'm going to give you this tidbit on that 12th house energy, which is why so much of this crazy stuff I would imagine is going on. I know there's a lot of other things too, but in general, when we're dealing with the 12th house energy, dreams, fantasy, illusions, delusions, confusions, but it's a mixture of faith and hold on tight, right? You're going to get through this. The 12th house energy is usually energy that we have to talk, possibly along with the 8th house, that we may have to talk to somebody with, like a professional, psychology, psychologists. There was another word. Anyway, I can't, whatever, I'm not hearing it anymore. But it's basically where we're really we need someone to just help us guide and sort through all this crap that's coming up, okay? And so your 8th house is loaded. Lo and behold, where's her Pluto, her natal Pluto? Anybody? Yeah, it's over there in her freaking 8th house. So the Pluto up in the sky going through the subconscious 12th house, connecting, right? Because you got to trail it back. Well, where's my natal Pluto? It's in her freaking 8th house, right? So again, this is more occult, more hidden stuff. So you're going through a lot of stuff, but it's stuff that somebody may not be able to perceive when they're looking at you. And so you need to kind of give yourself a break on that and maybe create some time for you to kind of sort through what you're going through. It doesn't mean, hey, Kat's got a problem. No, it just means that, you're looking for support. That's all it is. And sometimes it's just simply somebody who can listen, and that's it, right? Especially if it's an objective human being, right? I once had a customer who would walk around, and he was really nice, right? We had a lot of people who would walk, or who were like, that was their morning workout. They would just walk and walk and walk, right? So he would walk by the business, and he would drop off like a little business card. And he only did it once, but I would see him kind of handing his cards out to other people. He was retired, right? And he was harmless. He didn't mean any harm. So one day I see the card, and I'm looking at it, and it says his name, and it has a phone number, and it says non-judgmental listening. And so I asked him, I said, non-judgmental listening, wow. I said, do people actually call you? And he said, you'd be surprised. He said, and that's all we do. They talk, and I just listen. I might give up, but it's not about me directing them and saying, hey, you need to do this, or hey, it's not about my response. It's just that they need an objective ear. That's it, and so sometimes that's all we freaking need, So if we're close to our family and if we're close to our friends, we're like, okay, I can't talk to any of them. I need somebody else, So, that's just my quick example for that. And something like that might be beneficial, or it might be something more where you go to someone where you actually sit down and pay and lay on the couch. It could be that too. And I've known a shit ton of people, especially in the last 2 years, where they've been doing that. And they're like, it's really helped. I'm so glad I'm doing this, and it's like, great, whatever helps, right? As long as it's not detrimental, no drugs, no, we want healthy habits that we're creating. So With that said, Mercury's in your 8th house, my mind. It's in Scorpio. So, just everybody be prepared in general. The next 10 days, it's Mercury and Mars holding hands. And so that can be like fighting aggressive words. So we're just creating distance and space. We need a timeout. The beauty is that you've had some trine energy, so that's good to your Cancer energy, because you've got your Mars in Cancer down there. You even have Mercury in Cancer. So what is going to be fascinating for you, Kat, though, is let me get this date on here for you. You're going to have Mercury triggering your Fortuna, and then your Uranus energy, Uranus, and that triggers your natal Mercury down here at 28. That's kind of a big deal. So you see, a week forward I went, Mercury and Mars are still together. 1 week, October 20th, they're still together. Mercury's just starting to pull away, but Black Moon Lilith was there too, right? If you've been watching my videos, you already know all this. So after that, you're going to have, okay, we got to back it up a little bit. Yeah, end of October, Kat, the last week of October is what you're looking at. Yeah, as soon as Mercury triggers your Fortuna. So this is the beliefs about my future, about myself within relationships, shared values. So whoever you have shared values with, then the future of that. This is you thinking about that, okay? Because you have Mercury triggering that in your 9th house of beliefs. Now, the 9th house is also about freedom. It's also about traveling and going on vacation. It's also prayer and meditation, possibly, and spirituality and religion even. It's the house of philosophy and the philosopher. So I am going to say, yeah, I'm going to say you're going to start noticing this October 20th, 21st, 22nd. You're going to start noticing it. And Jupiter is going to be part of the story for you, which is good. Jupiter will be here. So I'm liking that for you, even though Venus is your greater benefic, but still it's Jupiter in Cancer. So this is good. The thing that does give me concern is you have a Nessa in Cancer at 25, and that's where the retrograding Jupiter begins. So that just means, okay, within family, because it's Cancer energy and mom energy, what we're doing, because we never want to burn bridges, of course, and I know you're close to your family. Uranus says, I need space. I need to break free. That's what Uranus energy wants to do, just in general. The thing with Uranus, when we feel that need to break free, we're not like, okay, we're done, and then we like never talk again. It's not that energy. Although at the moment we might feel like that. We might feel like that at the moment. And you don't want to do that. You just want to calmly state, if you can, I just need time. I need time and I need space. I have a lot going on here and I need space, right? Because Uranus wants to break out and break free, okay? So sometimes these can be people breaking out and breaking free from the shared values, Scorpio energy, okay? Breaking out and breaking free from whatever their belief system is, whatever their current life philosophy is, whatever the religion is or isn't. We're breaking out, breaking free, and we want to take our own path. This is when we want to become very independent energy. That's Uranus energy. So this is all getting triggered. And this freaking Nessa down here, when Jupiter is triggering that Nessa, is probably what's going to activate it. So the Nessa energy, again, at that 25 degrees, yeah, it can be feisty because it's 25 degrees. It is the Aries stuff. So we think of, I might be a little impulsive. I might be impatient, right? Cancer energy, home and family. But it's in the 5th house of fun and joy and creativity. And this is children. This is feeling like a kid again. Mom will be part of this because it's Cancer. There might be something with automobiles involved in this too, because it's that fifth house energy. Yep. But myself, okay, that big energy is that 25. So it's self, but it's people that we're in significant one-on-one relationships with. So this is like with people you're pretty close to. So I just, again, will just repeat to just know that this is a trigger, because Jupiter can increase our emotions. And when it does that, we don't want to be in the situation where we're saying hurtful things. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but this kind of energy in the fifth house might need to use this energy for a fun activity, like doing something fun. But you might feel the need to either find a new group, a new friend, even, because that's Uranus too, or to be, just going it alone. Might be a little bit of both, right? If we go and find a different group altogether. And that's okay. That just might be the breather and the break that you need. Okay. And Venus is still in your seventh house of groups, not groups, seventh house of significant one-on-one relationships, but it's at the number 11. I'm sorry, on this date, October 22nd. That's where the group thing came in. So prior to this, though, Venus was going over to Saturn and your Jupiter, which would have been beneficial. But now, at this date and time, she's going to be going into your eighth house of shared values. Okay. And you have a midpoint there. You have a Jupiter-Pluto midpoint. So that suggests big changes with bonded energy. Okay. Again, this can be deeply psychological, though. Okay. But it does trigger a change. And when I say deeply psychological, that means that we usually initiate the change deep inside. We say to ourselves that this is a change that we need to make, right? And so we're already mulling it over. We're already thinking about it. We already have those thoughts. But again, sometimes if we just make a little change here and a little change here and a little change here, sometimes that's enough. It doesn't have to be all get out and crazy, right? To satisfy us. So just, what's the word? Titrate it, where you just do a little bit here and a little bit there. And you see, is that enough, or do I need to make a further change? Just little by little. Don't take an axe to the change, where we're just hacking some shit off, right? No, we're going in like a skilled surgeon. We're being smart because we're aware of the energy ahead of time. Okay. So it is deeply psychological, and it's with definitely the relationships and the thoughts about the future. And these are people that we're close to. And so, yes, I can see friends and family is it can be a very sensitive area. It can be a very sensitive area. And so you might just need to be okay with, I can't do these days. I can't do big these days. Well, that's good. Little bits at a time. Good. Yeah. That's exactly what I would, and be okay with that. Be okay with that. With Pluto working you, with the deep psychology and stuff, and dealing with stuff from that 12th house, the 12th house energy, when we have things going through there, the 12th house is the house of we just know shit. We just know things and we don't know how we know them. Okay. But it doesn't mean that we need to share it or that we need to talk about it. And it can be a burden. It can be a huge burden to know things that you don't want to know. And to know things where it's like, why do I need to know this? I can't do anything about it. Some things can be really frustrating. So just kind of be patient and provide yourself with whatever the tools you need and whatever will work for you to support yourself during this time, because chances are you might not have understanding ears around you from the usual people, because Pluto is changing that, is disrupting and changing all of that. Okay. Yeah, you are welcome. Absolutely. You are welcome. Okay, love bug must be number 5. We're moving right along. Number 5. Is love bug number 5? Did I get that right, or was cat's number 5? Yeah, I might have gotten my numbers wrong. Let me go look. Abatha was 3, cats was 4, love bug is 5. That's right, right? So Lou, you would be number 6. Oh, she's got a list. Okay, we got the old list. The list goes to number. Huh. For some reason, I had Lou as number 6. I don't know why. All right. So love bug, you're up. Let me pull out my crystal ball, love bug. You want to look at love? Yeah, I'm being a smartass. Oh, thank God. Love bug wants to talk. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, let me see this. Something just got deleted. I've been with the same company for 10 years. Recently, my job got deleted. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I took an offer, but not liking it. I asked the manager if she had any other positions opened. And I just feel. All right, so let's get a job up here for love bug. The love bug. All right, anybody remember the love boat? I don't think I have that damn name in the chart system. That's yeah, job. The love bug blues. Yeah, that's Francesca, right? I think I saw Stacy said that. Stacy said that that's Francesca. Oh, I got to go backwards and find the F's. EF, let's go. I got you. Took a minute. Okay, let's get this up onto the system. Alrighty, speed reading time. Let me double check real quick. Okay, sorry. Frank says, I want to get in on the private live stream. Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. Okay, Frank, I got you. I'll respond to you when I'm done with the live stream. Oh, I see your digits, Frank, if you're still here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Francesca. I just had to see if I got an email from chat, Francesca. Before I went any further, I just wanted to double check. So I know how much time to spend on people. Okay. So Francesca, let's see what we're looking at here for you. Let's see what's going on with the job. Saturn in her 7th house, guys. You see that? Partnerships. Saturn is work. Yeah, do you do insurance work? You don't have to answer that. I'm just looking at your Saturn in your 8th house. Let's see here. So, let me see. Okay, so right now we've got Neptune about to go into Pisces. Not today, of course. It's going to be a little bit of time, but it's not far off. So work's going to change for everybody. The goals and the structure, corporations, business, yeah. And whatever your company's doing, yeah, it's a direct result of what's going on in the country. And we'll leave that there. So this is showing me that you have a Pluto in Virgo at 27 degrees. Okay. Makes sense. Saturn went over her Pluto through an opposition. Makes sense. Pluto gets rid of something at the root level, and there is a deep change in that. Transiting Saturn went over by opposition her natal Pluto. Okay. And that's in your first house. All right. So right now you have Venus at 27 degrees on top of your Pluto. All righty. She's here for the money, for the work. All right. She also has Mercury going through her second house of money and income along with Mars. Okay, so let me take a peek and see. Okay, Venus is your great benefic. So this Venus going through your first house, it's not going to be long before Venus gets into Libra. She's going to then cross over your Uranus energy, the seventh house of something new and different. Now, Uranus can be group energy, but it can also be like I'm breaking free type of stuff, freedom and independence. I'm seeking something new. Yeah, that's going to happen, and that's your great benefic. So let me see what connects with that. Oh, so do you have another connection over there? Let me see if you have a sextile to that. Oh, well, your Venus is in Scorpio. All right. People's money, shared values, old money, blood money. Okay. When I say blood money, I'm talking about inheritances, by the way. That's what I mean by that when I say that, because that could sound a whole lot of ways. All right, so you have the sun sitting here, of course, on your second house plus line as well. So as the sun travels through there, Mercury's going to go through there. I think possibly when Mercury connects with your natal Mercury, that might be more beneficial, like giving you some new options, right? Mercury going into your Saggy energy. You'll have a Mercury return. The only thing is that we're having a retrograde, which means things are going to change again. So whatever you're doing right now for work, it shows that like even your work, if you have coworkers, right? Like that stuff can change. And your Saggy energy, yeah, whether that's traveling or whether that's working for, sales, of course, the third house. But we think of judges, we think of lawyers, we think of the justice system, we think of government work possibly. Is that a 0 degrees Mercury? No, it's a 7 degrees Mercury. Partnerships. Okay, interesting. Significant one-on-one relationships. That can still have to do with the law and lawyers and stuff. But this Mercury is going to go to 6 degrees in your chart. 6 degrees of Saggy. And that's where it begins its retrograde. So that means it's going to stop almost right on your Mercury. So the point is that it goes back. It does stay in your third house for that retrograde, but it will trigger the third house cusp line. So information, communication, news, but learning something new possibly. Are you open to learning something new? Because that's Mercury energy. And it looks like you might be willing to do that because you're having a Mercury retrograde. Or, because it's not just a Mercury retrograde, you're having a Mercury, a Mercury coming home. So it's like a rebirth of your personal Mercury. You follow? So new coworkers, possibly new communication, new way of thinking, but possibly learning something new. But this is this is like going to be like almost a month-long thing where you have to wait for the retrograde to end. You have to wait for Mercury to get back to your 7 degree Mercury. And then it'll be more like, okay, now I have all the facts. Now I have all the information. I can make better choices then. So you're kind of, if you're making money right now, keep making the money, but just keep looking, keep searching out your options. But you can't, in my mind, with this retrograde that you have coming up, it's significant because it touches your Mercury and your third house cusp line, which is more Mercury energy, more options. It's all, it's coworkers, it's communicating, it's sales, it's just going over the details. and, maybe having to backtrack. So emails, snail mail, social media, like this is all Mercury stuff. You can't really rush it, no matter what you do right now. It'll be kind of redoing things. And the Mercury retrograde does say that things can slow down too. It delays things, and because we have miscommunications, even misunderstandings. So the main thing is to keep the money flowing, right? Take the offer, keep the money flowing, and you want to wait until after this retrograde. Because if you were to make another change right now, then whatever that change is that you make, that might not be available after that. That might end up being either whatever you say, deleted or eliminated, or something where you're just like, okay, this was definitely not a good idea because it's a retrograde. So you're going to wait until, well, I'm saying you're going to wait. I would wait. This isn't until December. Yep. Mercury does not get back to your birth Mercury until like mid-December, December 17th. You follow? That's a long ways off. So in the meantime, if you are able to transition and hop on another job or something, that's a possibility. You may go ahead and do that because you may really just like where you're at. Odds are wherever the next thing is just like a stepping stone. Likely that will again change itself as well. You probably won't stick with that. You'll probably switch it up, but again, if you use it as a stepping stone, great. But by the looks of some of the things and the placements, I would say just remain flexible and do whatever you got to do to keep the money coming in. Unless you feel like, hell no, I cannot do this. And then you're like, okay, can I collect unemployment? If that's an option for you. Okay. But things are changing. Absolutely. Because you got all those big planets at the latter degrees in Scorpio too. Your Venus is going to be there. Then you have Neptune there, and that's all your shared values and shared money. So things can look a little weird then. And they can get very confusing. All right. Do we have another list? Oh, we do. Look at this. Look at this. Stacy, you're so kind. You've been working your butt off. Okay, Lou's passing. Steffi, are you here? Steffi's not. She said she had to go to work. Simple days. Simple days. I don't think I have your digits. Simple days, you're up. But if I don't have your digits, we're moving on. Because, yep, we got to just keep moving on. So, unless Simple Days has a different name and I have your actual chart, I don't know who Simple Days is. I mean, I don't need to know who you are, but I need to recognize your name. And Frankie's still here. That's great. Sometimes people disappear because they don't want to wait. So if you're further down the line, you might all of a sudden get next fast. Okay, so where did I put that damn? Halfers is passing. Okay, and I saw another list that had like number 10 on it. And I think I'm scrolling. Yeah, Lou, you got that answer? I just gave the date. Shadow zone is like December 14th or 15th or something. It gets back to 6 degrees. Okay, so Donna's next. And Donna passed. Frank, you're up. Look at that. Just in time because we end at 11. Woohoo. All right, let me get Frank's chart in here. Frank hasn't been here before, so we got to take a look at Frank's I got to first get Frank's chart up. I got to draw it in here real quick. And okay. I'm going to find your stuff so I can get your birth digits in here. There it is. Okay. So, Frank, have you seen your chart before? Because sometimes when I draw a chart up, sometimes it's not the right chart. Every now and then my system gets glitchy and they'll give me a chart that isn't the right chart. And I do not want to spend time reading a wrong chart. So if you've seen your chart before, it would help me if you could tell me if you know, like the degree of your moon and the sign it's in, the degree of your ascendant, your rising sign and the sign it's in, that would help. Just so I can make sure it matches what I have. So it says E, Frank. Okay. All right, let's get. Oh, I got to capitalize it. Hold on. This chart system, boy. I don't capitalize it. It's like, that is not recognized. Like, really? Okay, 8:39 a.m. Alrighty. South Carolina. All right. There we go. So let's take a look at this and see what we got here. Let's see if Frank, this is giving me Capricorn ascendant at 29 degrees. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wow. Scorpio at the midheaven. Taurus on the 4th house cusp line at 18 degrees with Jupiter there. Wow. Oh, my Lord. The nodes at 23 degrees. Wow. Okay. That's an astrology degree. Woohoo. And look, according to this, you have your moon in Capricorn at 8 degrees. I mean, this is wild. I don't think I've ever seen a chart with this much Capricorn in my life. Is this really you, Frank? A moon in Cappy, a sun in Cappy at 11 degrees? I'm the boss, damn it. Does this sound like you, Frank? Unfortunately. All right, let's get Frank on the screen here. Let's get this going. Frank said, unfortunately. Oh, man. So you don't like your Capricorn self, huh? But it's all in your 12th. Not all of it. You do have 4 degrees in your 11th house, and you even have just a little taste of Capricorn in your 1st house. Wow. Okay. That's a whole lot of Cappy. Capricorn moon at 8. Frank's got his Juno at 3 degrees in Capricorn. Moon at 8 degrees. Oh, no wonder. Moon in Cappy conjunct Black Moon Lilith. Both at the same degree. Oh, gosh. Okay, so should I ask about mom and childhood? Let's see. Was there beneficial trying to that stuff? Or, well, you got Pisces, thank God. You got Pisces sextiling that. So that actually, and Estrella there. Oh, Estrella. Oh, shit. Oh, you had a Saturn return this year. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what my mom would call a trick bag. You have a lot of objects at 11 degrees, though, around the chart. I like that Aquarius stuff. So, Hygeia at 11 in Cancer energy, home and mom. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, did I hit a sore spot? Maybe. Um. Well, that's good that you love being a Cap. That's good. Yeah. Oh, you knew your chart. Look at that. Okay, that's great. Well, you do have a lot, but look at all the Cappy. You got a buttload of Capricorn. Like, it's really large up there. Absolutely. Yeah. So, uh, all right. So, looking at your chart, this Hygeia is down here. This is a health report card and home and family. It says, how is the domestic life? How is home and family? How is mom? So this can represent the group energy, tribal energy, even like friends that feel like family. But there can be a lot of very shocking and surprising energy, or very unique, very different domestic energy. Very unique, very different. Um, because yeah, it's a strong opposition to you have a new moon point in your chart in Capricorn, of course, because you got sun and moon in Cappy, and they're at 10 degrees boss energy. So adding to that 8 degrees that you have of the black moon Lilith and your natal moon conjunct, there's trauma here. There's trauma here. There's a lot of history. There's wounds from the past. And it's all in your eighth. It's all at 8 degrees in your 12th house. So this can be wounds, not just with mom, but with dad as well. It's a possibility because it's Cappy and the moon energy mixed. Maybe mom had to be a dad. Maybe it was a single mom. Maybe mom was always working. Maybe dad was always working. There's 12th house can make things look fuzzy, and sometimes they're disappeared or they are just simply not available. There's confusion, even possibly 12th house energy. Maybe they, were away and overseas working because Capricorn, the 12th house is, in another country. So that can be kind of some tricky stuff. And maybe even you yourself, maybe some of these things, possibly if you've got Saturn at 1 degrees in government energy, wow, work for the government, or just institutions of society, can be hospitals, can be prisons, just whatever those institutions of our civilization are. I use the word civilization very, very lightly now. So with that, this Capricorn in the 12th, corporation, business, government kind of energy you have here. And it's a nice trine. You got a Jupiter, retrograding Jupiter, trining your sun. Ooh, yeah. So when somebody has Taurus energy like that in their 4th house, ooh, wow. Very fixed energy in the home. Very fixed energy. That's so funny. Just earlier today, it's like, how do you comfort a Taurus? Number 1, food, smells, tastes, possibly clothing, things that are beautiful, money, right? Banking energy for sure, bankers, banking. But in the home, um, yeah, whether you're baking for somebody, somebody's cooking for you, like Taurus energy in the house wants things to be comfortable. It's all about the creature comforts. And so typically, this is my desires and what I love, Taurus energy. And it's in the place of mom. So maybe this could even represent that these things were important to mom too. And that's how mom was. That's a possibility. But with this here in your chart, it's, part of you in your life now. Yeah, you've made it part of that. And with the Jupiter there, Jupiter really expands upon stuff. Like it just exaggerates it. And the day-to-day routines, like organizing and cleaning, possibly things being perfect, even because I'm seeing like that Virgo degree jumping up, like holy crap. And you even have that Jupiter at a moon degree, so the home. Yeah, you think about Taurus energy in the home, and like it's one thing to change things around, uh, which Taurus probably wouldn't be real thrilled with, especially at a Virgo degree, like perfection. Um, you would want, yeah, if any changes are happening, you would be the one who'd want to initiate those things, and especially if they're sudden. Taurus isn't real thrilled about that. It's very kind of, it likes to have like, this is my schedule, this is my routine, this is my food. Somebody said something about some character on television who had a thing, like if they were eating or if they were cooking or whatever they were doing. And I don't even know the show, so this was somebody else telling me this. Where the character would get upset, like if somebody looked at their food, like if they were like eyeing it, like, that looks kind of good, but don't look at my food, type of thing. That's kind of a Taurus trait. That's kind of a Taurus trait. And all these things that I'm naming, all this Taurus stuff, and creativity too, being very creative, are things that are going to give you emotional stability and emotional security. And it could have been for your mother as well. So home and family and home life in general is what we're discussing. But the nurturing, how I feel nurtured and safe and emotionally stable and secure. It's all this Taurus. So yeah, if you're not into creative stuff, then maybe it's just, where's the money? Show me the money, and, purchasing things. Because remember, Jupiter can be like, Jupiter can go really large, can go really big, can just say, more, please, more, please. It's not enough. I need more. It can do that. So this is property and homes, right? Yeah, property and homes for sure. This would be, this would suggest, with this Jupiter here, maybe someone who could even have more than one home, or who at least is like, that would be really great. I would love that. It's a retrograding Jupiter. So you have Jupiter as your greater benefic, and you have Earth in that 12th house where your sun is at. I would imagine this Jupiter can do some powerful things for you, because I'm just looking up here and you have a freaking Jupiter-Pluto trine. Holy shit. A retrograding Pluto. And your Uranus is right there at 14. What are you like? This is like, can be insurance money, but it's shared values, and it is Virgo energy. I like Virgo on the 8th, actually. These people are like the super freaking detective of the Zodiac, especially with Scorpio here. And Mars at 24. Oh, damn. I didn't even see any of that. Oh, good God. Nobody pulls any wool over on your eyes. Holy shit. This is like, yeah, these are the ultimate researchers. These people are like, they can dig in ways like, they're excavating. I mean, this is really physical too. Technology is even part of this. But yeah, Pluto is diving and drilling for oil. Like, Pluto is like the rotor-rooter of the Zodiac stuff you got going on in the 8th house for work, for day-to-day routines. Dang. Wow. Yeah, stability is strong in your chart. Material, financial stability. It can be really strong. Yikes. Yeah, the 8th houses can be kind of that mystic house too. The occult kind of energy. So the Grand Water Trine. I know I just walked away from that one really fast, but you've got stuff in water. And Pisces on the 2nd house cusp line is really sensitive energy. Movies. It's also more creative energy, theater, drama, but sound is big with Pisces. Sound is really big. You have Chiron here. Chiron is called the wounded healer. Yeah, the ability to help others heal, especially people who have Chiron and Pisces. That's like the ultimate sign of the healer in the zodiac is Chiron and Pisces. 14 degrees. Oh, shit. You can make money. Oh, how nice. 14, you got 18 up there. You got 18 here. You got 16, 17. You got a Jupiter and Pluto over here at 15 and 16, a Jupiter and Uranus at 15 and 16. Okay, so this is beautiful. Maybe there's something nice and creative for you that you do. You got Neptune and Scorpio up there at 19. Midheaven's at 18. That's kind of nice. So that 19 degrees is partnership energy. But it suggests the shared values, partnership energy that might, because it's on your midheaven, so there might be a repetition of starting of new partnerships, but like it's a normal rotation, where like that's like you're used to that because it's part of your work, or at least what you're working towards, your midheaven, your work. But yeah, Jupiter retrograding in Taurus, I gotta believe there's some strong beneficial creative stuff there. Jupiter, ancient ruler of that 12th house. Sound comes up again. Yeah. And I mean the trine and the huge kite. I mean, you have a big, strong ass kite in your chart, and Chiron is at the top of it. So you can heal people with the sound even. Because you have Uranus at the exact opposition. So it's very unique. And, if people are doing creative stuff, it's the uniqueness that's a value. And it's in the 8th house of healing. Yeah. So hopefully that's what's going on. Something really nice. And yeah, I think so, because you got Venus and Mercury conjunct. Communications, Venus is beauty. And remember this Venus up here in Saggy? Jupiter rules Saggies, but that same Venus is down here for the Taurus energy. So that's a strong mutual reception between your Jupiter and your Venus. They're both sharing. They're in the, like Jupiter is sitting in Venus's home or Venus's sign, and Venus is sitting in Jupiter's sign. But Venus is there with her sister, Mercury. So there's communications going on. And that's, wow, 11th house. Again, more unique stuff that comes up. Okay, really fascinating chart, dude. I like this chart. Yeah, this is, and this is Estrella energy. What I will tell you about this Estrella is she's at the 10 degrees Capricorn energy work, and that's your second house cusp line. So this is very professional energy in job and work and career. So there can definitely be a creative thing happening here. Or at least a Pisces thing, at the very least. All the Pisces keywords, there can be a Pisces thing going on where, because Estrella doesn't stop. She doesn't give up. She just keeps working at it. Matter of fact, she doesn't know when the hell to stop. She doesn't know when it's over. She just keeps going and just keeps working at it. And with the Pisces there too, though, on that 10th house cusp line, there can be times when, because Pisces things can kind of get a little confusing and fuzzy. So, and that 10 degrees can also be restrictive at time, but it is duty, work, and responsibility too. So depending upon when things are moving through, there can be moments where it might feel like things aren't going anywhere, where it's taking forever, because that's that 10 degrees, it says there's no shortcuts. You just got to take your time. There's no cheating, It's Saturn energy. It won't allow us to, we don't all of a sudden get catapulted. And that's for income, but it can also be love, by the way, and significant relationships, like in desires. It can play a role in that too. And maybe not like forever, but there can be windows and cycles and timing where you've been able to witness that in your life, especially because you have Saturn at 1 degrees in Pisces. And with Jupiter, I'll add this to you. With Jupiter as your great benefic, your Mars is your great malefic, which in the 8th house of wounds and domestic energy, and it's at the Pisces degree. So there might be some actions that were taken, possibly. Stuff from the past comes up. Some would even say karma in history, soul, memory, soul energy. And, there's a lot of that actually in your chart in general with that Neptune there, in relationships, the karma, the history. But even this Mars in the 8th house of the occult. But boy, I tell you, man, with Pluto at a retrograde in Virgo in the 8th, this would be transformational energy for sure. And changing something with your health even possibly. And healing. But that includes others as well, because it's shared values. And the details, the minutiae, Virgo energy, and striving for perfection. And at the opposite end is the perfection, the Pisces stuff. But yeah, huge kite. And it's the tip of that kite, that Chiron, that brings about the healing. So if you're not doing that, this suggests that there's something unique that you have to offer. And it will all come pulling out. And you have the benefit of your greater benefic Jupiter being part of this huge kite. And it all pours out and through your Chiron. And that includes your uniqueness, your unique work. That includes your sun, how you express, your creative form of expressing. That all pours out through there. So if you're not doing that, you should be doing it. All right? It's 5 minutes till, and I'll email you back, Frank. But yeah, we do this every weekend. And then the last Saturday of every month, we do it privately. Very small group of people. And yeah, it's for people who don't want to have, eyes listening in on their chart, their life story. Plus, it's an opportunity where people can actually, it's more like a round table, right? Because we're on the screen, we have a rapport, we can actually have a little chit chat, and people usually leave the private lives feeling good, feeling optimistic, feeling stronger, feeling taller, feeling like they've made some connections with people, and feeling really good about it in general, I think. So things seem to take forever. Yes, that 10 degrees, dude. That 10 degrees. Anybody who's aware of that Saturn energy, I have Saturn in my 12th. And people are always just like, why don't you have more subscribers? And so there's just a lot of things where it's, you can do is just keep plugging away little by little. Little by little, you just keep plugging away. And when it's time, when the rewards and recognition, when it's time for them to be there, they'll be there. Otherwise, we just create our own frustration with it. That's the secret, right? You better then damn straight be sure you're doing what you love, because then you're not feeling all the what the hell, right? Then it's just keep plugging away. That's me. I don't know when to stop. That's your Estrella. She's right there with the things that you desire. Yeah. I'm a multi-instrumental musician. Oh, oh, awesome. I love you're using your creativity. Wonderful. That's great. Well, of course yeah, with the Pisces there and with, yeah, the uniqueness, like that tiny, when I talk about Aquarius energy and the number 11 popping up in multiple places, yeah, it's like doing individual type of work. So it's almost like with that Neptune at that, what did I say, partnership degree at the midheaven. So that could then be creative work. It's almost like creative gigs then, if you're a musician, where you're always in front of a new set of eyes or something, you know. But if it's Libra, and it is, even though I'm using the degree stuff, so don't get confused by what I'm saying. I'm still talking about your Neptune at 19 in Scorpio. It's like kind of like what I do with people for readings. You know, I'm not using instruments, but I'm providing a service, right? But it's one-on-one kind of work. Although I would imagine for a musician, you want a group work. But yeah, it suggests contract work even. How about that? Because it's like at a Libra degree, it's contract work, which would mean, yeah, you're always looking for the next contract. Well, then that's really difficult. I see. Don't you hate to have to say that shit? A real job? Don't you hate that? I know I do. It's like, so you have to do the 9 to 5 or whatever the hell, whatever pays the rent. And then the after hours are when you get to do what you love and pray to God that, you're doing it in a way where people appreciate it and pay you some money. Well, yeah, I know. It's what you got to do to pay the bills. I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. Wow. Well, you know what? There's, are you, so all I can recommend is because of that Chiron and the healing, that there's something there where if it can provide the healing, then it can possibly, because I don't know anything about like how people distribute their music, right? Yeah. I mean, that means you have a YouTube channel, I'm assuming, but maybe not, depending upon, yeah, I, yeah, I'm not a person who knows anything about that stuff, but I know that if people can experience snippets of the work or whatever, and find healing in it, because you have that Chiron there at the tip of that kite, and all your big planets, all the outer planets, and even your Mars support it. They're all part of that huge kite for you, and they all come out through your healer, your Chiron and Pisces. They all come out to that. So I don't know if you've ever thought about it that way, or maybe you've already been told that. I don't know. Okay. Heals me in the process of offering healing to others. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Well, good. So because it's at 14 degrees, yeah, that can be desires, but that can also be making the money. It's the Venus degree. Just letting you know. All right, we're all done. Woohoo! We're done. It's 11 o'clock. Christy, I just left your neck of the woods, G. Does that mean you landed? Oh, you made it. Yeah. Well, thank God. Yeah, good thing you're not slightly brown. I'm glad you made it and you got home. Good for you. Thank you for checking in and letting us know. As I know they had people at the airports, they were arresting people and shit at the airports. So, uh, yeah, you would have come in through O'Hare, right? Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you for letting us know, Christy. I am so glad you made it home safe, especially with the crazy shit and the air traffic controllers and the government, right? Yep. You are welcome, Frankie. Frankie. Yeah. You are welcome. Woohoo! Everybody, the eagle has landed. Christy is home. All righty. All right, guys, we will be back here next week. For anybody who didn't get into the chat, didn't get on the live stream tonight, and you want your chart, just send me an email. I spent a little time more than usual on your chart, Frankie, because it's the first time I've seen your chart. Let me save that since we know that's your chart. Save. Yeah. All right, I got you in the system now. Okay. Oh, hey, Heifers, how are you doing? I didn't even see you. I thought you left. It's the first time I'm seeing. The only way I saw your name earlier is because somebody had you written down as part of our. They said you were passing. Good to see you, Heifers. Have a good night. Heifer's like, hi, bye. Bye. Oh, look at that, guys. Heifers is doing great. Isn't that awesome? That is good news. Thank you for that update, Heifers. Because, man, when you were here, life was not great. Not at all. Life was hard, right? I'm so glad you have a cycle of respite where you can be like, yes, things are great. Really busy. That's good. Be busy. To be honest, yes. Especially for people who are going through some hard times, that's really what I want to hear. I'm busy and I'm doing great. That's perfect. That's what the live stream, that's what the astrology is for, basically, to get people through the tough times. Absolutely. Frankie, Angela says to send me that music. Or Elliot. Who the hell's Elliot? I'm sorry. Is Elliot? Oh, God. Did I say the wrong thing? I don't. Angela, who are you talking to? Are you talking to this? Is this a different person? Who's Elliot? All right. I'm just going to stop being nosy. I'm ending the live. All right. So as a reminder, the last Frank is Elliot. Oh, okay. The last Saturday of every month, we do this same thing, but we do it privately. It is limited seats available. It's a very small group because it's supposed to be a very private thing. Okay. And it is. So if you want some of that, send me an email and I'll tell you how you can get in. And we do it. Yeah. Sometimes the next Saturday isn't good. So people book out in advance. You follow? They book in advance. No, there's still some space for October. There's some space left. I think there's like 2 slots left, I think. Yeah. All right. All right, guys, we're done. We're ending. And everybody have a good night. Stay sane. And yeah, stay safe out there. Until next time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Stacy. Bye-bye.